Well, just really proud of the way the guys played. I thought we prepared good last week. You always worry that there'd be a letdown, but I thought we prepared hard. I thought we played a pretty solid game. We know we have an outstanding opponent coming in here Saturday, and I think we understand we got to go to work.
Coach, you said that you would learn the most about your team in between weeks 1 and week 2. So looking back at that matchup, what were some of the things you were able to fine tune?
Well, I thought it was good to see us make some big plays offensively and on the special teams. Defensively, I thought we played pretty well up front. It was pretty a dominating game on the line of scrimmage, I think. But you certainly like the maturity of the football team. Not looking past an opponent because we knew we would have to be prepared. Our guys prepared hard. I was pleased with that maturity.
Were there any guys that you put in because the score was what it was that you really liked, and maybe they even moved up in the depth chart?
I think so. I think there was, there's guys that we needed to play. I think the more guys you can play early, it's going to help you down the road because we all know you're going to need some guys down the road. But offensively, it was good to get Tez in there and get him some carries. I think he's only going to get more and more carries. It was good to watch Parker come in and play. We needed to see that. It was also defensively, we played Demario Smith. We got Demario in there. I think he's a guy that's going to have to help us up front this year. Some of the guys on the back end, Curtis Michael got a lot of snaps, so it was good to get that to Curtis, Tavares Moore, getting some of those guys in and letting those guys play because those guys are going to have to play here as the season goes on.
How many of you guys rotate up front on the defensive line?
Tim, that's a great question, but, we probably have, you'd probably be 6 or 7 guys probably, And that's why it was good to get DeMario in there because, Jerry didn't play Saturday, so, it was just, of course, Draper this summer, so, we got to get him ready to go.
Will McCorvey play this week?
I think so.
Coach, did you get a chance to watch the Clemson-Troy game much? And
Yeah, just an outstanding football team. Talented football team, extremely well coached. We know we got a big challenge coming in here Saturday night.
I'm sure you don't, approach the game any differently, but how did what they did against Clemson? How does that really force you to take a hard look at them as a team?
Certainly better way. I mean, we already know Troy is an outstanding football team, but that just not only wakes up what we already knew, but kind of just wakes up, the entire country. So we understand we got a really good football team coming in.
Coach, when you look at this Clemson team on film, is there anything either offensively or defensively that they do that kind of creates a special challenge or a unique challenge?
You talking Troy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's they're just. The quarterback's an excellent football player. They got really good skilled players, not only out wide at receiver, but also in the backfield. That's been proven. Do a great job up front. So they're top to bottom a good football team, and when you say challenge, yeah, it's a challenge. So we know it's a game that we got to prepare hard and we've got to be focused.
What do they like to run on both sides? In terms of another multiple offense and come after you on defense?
Yeah, they are. That's a kind of coaching cliche, but it's fair, Tim, that they're a team that again can attack you from a lot of different angles. Again, good running backs, good receivers, good quarterback, and I think they've proven that in the last couple of weeks. They're a team that makes you work.
You said on Saturday you're most proud of your team's focus last week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that tough every week to do? And I'm sure what Troy did last week, it should be that hard.
Well, certainly, I think our team understands we've got a really good football team coming in here Saturday night. Sometimes when you play, and not to say there's some FCS teams that are play you to the wire no matter who the opponent is, but sometimes when you play an opponent that you're supposed to win, like Savannah State, you know, you do worry about your players. You know, I mean, you want to make sure that they're focused, taking nothing for granted. You know, this week they don't have to worry about it because I think that's one thing that every man in that dressing room and that locker room understands. We got a really good football team coming in there Saturday.
Now, having said that, you have a win against an FCS opponent, but then also an SEC opponent. So you've beat a variation of opponents, but just seeing 2-0 on the record sheet, how does that help your team's confidence?
Well, again, I always like to say football is like a poker game. We'll count those chips up at the end. You know, we're right in the middle of the cards are still being dealt. So we can't sit back and look at where we are or whatever. We just got to get prepared for Troy. That's all that matters right now is the Troy game. And, you know, that's that's enough on our plate right now.
It's 2 weeks in a row now where the offense has gotten production from a lot of different people. I mean, is that a goal, or is that just kind of how it's happening? Or
I think it's a goal. I mean, it's one of those deals where you want a lot of guys touching the ball. I think that's you know, that's something that is important. It allows you to have a little bit of diversity and not be.
Coach, can you recall we've had running backs, 2 of them go for 100 yards in the first 2 games of the season like that? And I realize, you know.
Tim, you digging some hard questions at me now, man. You know, I don't know. I would have to go back, and I don't even really, to be honest with you, I don't really pay attention to it that much. I just know those guys really played hard, and they've put together 2. You know, and some of those runs, you know, the one Ito made in the first quarter, you know, that was a great effort, you know, and then picked up some critical blocks when he hit the perimeter. But, you know, that's the thing about Ito. He's a hard runner. And George, you know, he's physical. And, again, it's a good little 1-2 punch. But I was glad to see Tez get some carries, too, and just continue as he continues to get better and better.
I like the 0-0. This play starts with 0 on the clock, and he scores with 0 on the clock.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
talk a little bit more about Tez. I mean, are you kind of bringing him along slowly just out of caution, like just being a little bit cautious, or?
Well, a little bit. Tez is ready, but there's a little bit of truth into that too, Jason. Just making sure he's 100% ready to go, and you saw him run Saturday. I think we're getting closer and closer to 100%.
About the offensive line, a lot of the backups played there. What did you see? Like Tyler Stoops in center.
I was really pleased with Tyler. I think Tyler mentally proved that he can handle everything. You know, that was always good to see. Again, I think Oliver was our offensive player of the week. Bates, he did a good job. He played really good. Defensively, Xavier Thigpen, we thought was the guy. Played real well, and special teams wise, you know, it was Tyler Saracen. What a job! He did a great job kicking off for us and punting. So he shared it with Alan Zay on the big touchdown return. But I think those 2 guys had big games.
Anything else?
Coach, I read a quote somewhere from Coach Brown of Troy that said, you know, his team against Clemson played, you know, they're out to prove some of those players maybe not recruited by big schools like Clemson. I'm curious if there's players like that on this team who have an attitude where they want to prove people wrong.
Well, we've been that team. We've been a team like that. That's kind of our tradition at Southern Miss, so we understand what he's saying. You know, it's I think our guys, you know, that's kind of how they feel too. You know, that you want to go out every week and you want to play with a, you know, a lot of times when you play those ACC or SEC opponents, I think that's something that kind of naturally happens.